Welcome to the podcast, folks. Today, we're diving into a fascinating tech rivalry between BeiDou and GPS, a real showdown in satellite navigation.
Oh, absolutely. It's like watching a modern tech war unfold, right?
Yeah, exactly. BeiDou is China's answer to the American GPS. Its evolution is really interesting because it's not just a duplicate system, it's redefining satellite navigation on several fronts.
Definitely. It's kind of like a reimagining of what we knew about sat-nav systems, isn't it?
Right. In China, BeiDou isn't just a backup, it's the main stage now. It's compatible with a massive number of smartphones, like 288 million devices produced by the likes of Huawei and Xiaomi.
Yep, and can you believe it? More than 1 trillion location lookups a day? It's mind-blowing.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, it's been driving huge economic growth. I mean, in 2024 alone, BeiDou generated about 575.8 billion yuan in economic output, with a 7.39% year-on-year increase. That's seriously impressive,
Absolutely.
isn't it?
Definitely. That kind of output shows the scale at which a national satellite navigation system can influence a tech ecosystem. And it's not just smartphones. It's everything from drones to wearable tech and even robots now.
Yeah, it's like expanding its reach almost everywhere, from in-vehicle systems to electric bikes. It's a clear indicator of China's push to embed BeiDou in every facet of daily life.
And that expansion isn't accidental, right? There's this strategic element with restrictions on GPS usage in China that have paved the way for Beidou's dominance.
Exactly. You see, America's GPS isn't fully supported on some domestically made devices in China. For instance, certain government or military units have turned to BeiDou due to security concerns.
So while most high-end smartphones like iPhones support both systems, the state policy nudges critical users toward Beidou, correct?
Yeah, that's the picture. And it's like China is ensuring its entire tech and military infrastructure isn't overly reliant on a foreign system.
Right, it's a defense strategy as much as it's a commercial one.
Absolutely. And looking at the numbers, BeiDou boasts 56 satellites in orbit compared to GPS's 31. That's almost double, which not only improves coverage but also contributes to better signal strength and positioning accuracy.
Yeah, indeed. That's a strong technical advantage. But isn't it also true that GPS has been around longer and is deeply integrated with countless applications worldwide?
Yes, that's a fair point. GPS does have an early mover edge, so many users might be hesitant to switch despite the technical superiority of BeiDou.
So there's a bit of a cultural and inertia factor too. People generally stick with what they know, even if the new system almost outperforms the old one in some areas.
Exactly. But then, think about this. In several regions, BeiDou, fortified by nearly 10 times as many monitoring stations, offers positioning accuracy down to 1 meter for public use and even 1 centimeter for military use. That's hardly something to overlook.
Oh wow, 1 centimeter for military use, right? That's precision on a whole different level.
Absolutely. It's like, comparing a standard car's GPS to a race car's telemetry system. Beats it by a mile.
And that precision plays a major role in applications like guided munitions and even urban planning.
Right, exactly. Not only are we talking about location tracking, but also how navigation systems integrate into larger systems like port management, agriculture, and even maritime patrols. I mean, it's utilized by industries from transport to infrastructure.
Yeah, almost every sector seems to be tapping into Beidou's capabilities. But what about global ambitions? It's not just a domestic game changer, is it?
Nope, definitely not. After cementing its lead in domestic markets, BeiDou is setting its sights on global expansion. With a presence already in Africa, Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and Latin America, it's kind of weaving itself into global supply chains and infrastructure projects.
And that ties into China's Belt and Road Initiative, right? Integrating Beidou with infrastructure investments in ports and railways in developing countries.
Exactly. Beijing is strategically using BeiDou as part of its soft power arsenal by subsidizing and integrating its technology with broader Chinese services and products. They're increasing tech dependency.
Right, I see that. That's a smart move, though I have to wonder. Do you think this strategy could backfire if nations see it as a tool of surveillance or influence?
That's a valid challenge. Some experts have raised concerns that reliance on BeiDou could increase vulnerability to Chinese government oversight. Specifically, if a country becomes too entangled with BeiDou, it may risk exposure to surveillance, adding a significant security dimension.
Exactly my thought. It's a bit of a double-edged sword, cutting-edge technology with a side of geopolitics.
Right, exactly. And on that note, it's interesting to see how other regions are responding. Apart from BeiDou and GPS, we've got the European Galileo, Russia's GLONASS, and even India's Navig. It's almost like the world is splintering into these distinct satellite navigation camps.
Which is fascinating because it means that satellite navigation is no longer just about technology. It's a geopolitical frontier now.
Absolutely. And security plays a vital role. For instance, in war scenarios, having control over your own navigational system is crucial because you can't rely on an adversary's technology potentially cutting you off.
Right? That independence can be a game changer for national security.
Yeah, and think about it. It's like having your own personal map in enemy territory. It reduces risk and keeps operations running smoothly even under pressure.
Makes total sense. But you know, what also strikes me is the sheer scale of China's domestic adoption. Tracking over 1 trillion location requests daily is not a small feat. It's more than just technology. It's a phenomenon shaping everyday life in China.
Right, exactly. And that engagement isn't limited to just urban areas. It spans across transportation, agriculture, and even maritime sectors. Almost every Chinese vessel, even with giants like Costco, are on board with BeiDou.
It's like BeiDou isn't just a satellite network, it's a whole ecosystem.
Absolutely. It's like not just about navigation anymore. It's about building a pervasive network that underpins economic activity and national security. And while GPS has been deeply integrated with US tech, BeiDou's expanding global adoption might shift global dynamics in the coming years.
That's definitely a compelling thought. With each satellite navigation system trying to outdo the other, we're truly witnessing a new kind of tech war, where even our daily commutes and shipping routes may end up being influenced by global geopolitics.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a reminder that even something as technical as SatNav is interwoven with international power plays and market competition.
And that interconnection might just be the future of tech warfare. It's both exciting and, well, a bit nerve-wracking, isn't it?
Exactly. And while some experts, like those at Harvard's Belfer Center, argue that BeiDou has achieved technical superiority with better accuracy and more satellites in orbit, it still has to overcome the inertia of long-established systems.
Yeah, and that's where the debate heats up. Is technical superiority enough to win global market share, or will legacy systems like GPS and the ecosystem built around them hold strong?
Right, and that's a key question. It's like having a state-of-the-art car versus a classic model that everyone trusts. Sure, the new one might be faster and more efficient, but sometimes familiarity wins.
Exactly. And that's where geopolitical alliances come into play. Countries may continue using established systems out of trust, familiarity, or even political alignment.
Absolutely. And as nations invest more in their own satellite navigation, we might see these systems further specializing. For instance, some might focus on precision for military applications, while others drive consumer integration.
Yeah, that's a good point. And speaking of specialization, it's interesting to note how BeiDou's integration with industries like agriculture and urban planning is expanding its footprint far beyond just navigation.
Exactly. It's kind of like how smartphones evolved from mere calling devices to essential daily tools. BeiDou is becoming that backbone for so many modern applications.
A true transformation. It'll be fascinating to see how global dynamics shift as more countries explore homegrown or alternative systems in response to these challenges.
Absolutely. The global battle for satellite navigation is just heating up, and there's so much more to watch in both the technical and geopolitical arenas.
For sure. And it reminds us that behind every tech innovation lies an intricate web of strategy, economics, and power.
Exactly. It's all interconnected, and as these systems evolve, the stakes only get higher, both for everyday users and for the nations relying on them for critical operations.
Absolutely. This really has been an eye-opener on how satellite navigation has moved beyond just tech into global power strategies.
Definitely, and it's a conversation that is only going to become more relevant as we rely even more on these interconnected systems.
Yep, a fascinating intersection of technology and geopolitics. Thanks for walking us through this modern saga.
Thank you. It's been a dynamic conversation. And for anyone listening, keep an eye on these developments. They're changing our world in ways you might not even realize.